do the applied measure and financial maths exam at foundation level. Okay, 160 passengers are going on a bus tour. Each bus can seat 60. No, it can't. It can seat 40. And each passenger pays 35. Work out how many buses are needed for the trip. Okay, so there's 160 passengers. And the bus can only seat 40. So if we do 160 and divide it by 40, we get 4. So they're going to need 4 buses. Yeah, so that's 40, 40, 40, and 40, and that all makes 160. So 1, 2, 3, 4 buses. The total amount collected from all the passengers, so there's 160 passengers, and each of them is going to pay €35. So 160 multiplied by 35 is €5,600, the amount of money. The tour company made a profit of 8%. Work out the profit. They made a profit of 8% on the tour. Sorry, I'm just going to check my answers are right so far. Yep. And how do we make 8%? We get 5,600 and we want to multiply it by 8%. So 8% you can type directly into your calculator, or you can convert it into a decimal, which would look like this, or you can convert it into a fraction, which would look like this. So it's 5,600 multiplied by 8 and press the percent button on your calculator, or else 5,600 and multiply it by 0.08, or else 5,600 and multiply by 8 over 100. Whichever of them you do, you should get €448, which should be the profit. And yeah, that's right as well. Okay. The rectangle drawn below on a grid. The rectangle below is drawn on a grid. The grid has small squares and each side is a length of 1 centimetre. What is the length? Okay, so we just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the width, 1, 2. That's it. Work out the perimeter. So the perimeter is when you go add of this, add of this, add of this, add of this. So it's going to be 9 plus 2 plus 9 plus 2. What's that? 18, 20, that's 22 centimetres. And the area, so to get the area, you do length multiplied by width. So it's 9 multiplied by 2, which is 18. You don't need to worry about the centimetres squared or anything. The numbers are all that matters. Oh, did I take the wrong? Oh, here it is. That shouldn't be there. Sorry, just let me fix that. Did that, and then we got 9, 2, 22, and 18. Okay. Which of the shapes A, B, C, or D is a correct net of a cube? Okay, so a net is when you take a shape and you unfold it and flatten it out. We did a lot of that in we did a lot of it in class. So like here's a cube. Not a great one, but you get the idea. So if you were to fold that out flat, which one of these would you get? It's D. Okay, look at it a different way. If you were to take this, make this shape at home, if you were to make this shape at home and try to fold it into this shape, would you be able to do it? Yeah, you would. Okay, the big thing you're looking for here is you need 4 down the center and then 1 on each side. That's what you need. It doesn't actually matter where the 1 on each side are, but you need 4 down the center and 1 on each side. So this one here has 4 down the center, but it doesn't have 1 on each side, so it doesn't work. Okay, this doesn't have 4 down the center and this doesn't have 4 down the center. Okay, so the big thing you're looking for, 4 down the center and 1 on each side. And you would be, if you made that, you would be able to fold it into this shape. Okay, and the cylinder shown on the right has a height of 15 and a diameter of 20. What's the radius? So the radius is always half the diameter. So the diameter is 20, so half of that is 10. And work out the volume of the cylinder, and they tell us what the volume is. So it's pi. R stands for radius, and we know that the radius is 10. And then there's a little squared. And then the height they told us, here it is here, of 15. So you just get your calculator and you type all that in. So bracket pi, bracket pi, bracket, new bracket 10, close bracket squared, new bracket 15, close bracket, press equals, and this is what I'm looking at on my calculator. But it says that we need to give our answer correct to the nearest centimetre, so I'm going to have to press that SD button to turn it into a decimal. So I do that and I get 4712.38898. It says to the nearest centimetre, so I don't want any decimals, so it would be 4712. And again, that would be centimetres cubed, but you don't need to worry about that. The number is what's important. Okay. Make sure we're right. So D I got 10 and 4712. Okay, question 3. Darren works on a Saturday from 9 to 12 and from 1:30 to 5:30. He's paid $10.25 an hour. How many hours does he work? Okay, so from 9 to 12, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 3 hours in the morning. And then 1:30 to 5:30. So we start at 1:30 and we go 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. That's 4 hours in the afternoon. So in total, he works 7 hours. Work out his gross pay. So his gross pay is his 7 hours, working at €10.25 per hour, and we just multiply them, and we get 71.75. That's what he makes for the day. Darren saves €40 each week for his family holiday. How many weeks does it take him to save 800? So we do 800 and we divide it by 40. It's going to take him 20 weeks. So if he were to save 40 in the first week, he'd have €40. If he were to save 40 in the second week, he'd now have €80. If he were to save 40 in the third week, he'd have 120. He would have to do that for 20 weeks for it all to add up to 800. Is that okay? So the answer is 20 weeks. Darren changes €800 into US dollars. The exchange rate is 1 to 1.11. Work out how much Darren gets. Anytime you get these foreign exchange questions, the 1, if you multiply anything by 1, it doesn't change the number. So if you multiply 800 by 1, you'll get 800. So that gets ignored. And we multiply the other two numbers. So you multiply the 800 by the 1.11. And you get $888. Okay, oh, and that's that, so let's check. 7 hours, 71.75, 20 weeks, and $888. Okay. Question 4. Just gonna make this a bit smaller. Yeah. Sean travels from his home in Killarney in Cork. Okay. The graph below shows Sean's journey, and he stopped to visit a friend on the way. Okay. Use a diagram to complete the table by filling in the missing times and distances. The time that Sean left his home. Okay, so he left here at 9 o'clock. The length of time Sean stopped to visit his friend. So here's where he stopped. Okay, so we stopped at, can you see that there? 10. And he got moving again at 10:30. So how long did he stop for? Half an hour or 30 minutes. whichever way you want to say it. The distance that Sean travelled to meet his friend. Okay, so here he starts at 0, and by the time he got to his friend's house here, he was at 60. So he travelled 60 kilometres to see his friend. What time did Sean arrive in Cork? So here he is here, arriving in Cork. So what time did that happen at? Happened at 11:30. The distance from Sean's home in Killarney to Cork. Okay, so this circle here was when he arrived in Cork at 11:30. So what distance had he travelled? So we're going to look across here to this bit. So if this is 80 and this is 100, then halfway in between is 90. So he travelled 90 kilometres from Killarney to Cork. Oh, and that's it. Just let's check I got all them right. 9, 30 minutes, 60, yeah, 11:30 and 90. Okay, so that's all your solutions, and that's it. That's everything done. So I suppose go back over all the booklets. Go back over all the booklets, go back over all the exams, have a look at all my videos with the solutions, and make sure you're ready. You've got, today is Monday, so I think your exam is like later on in the week next week, so you've got like a week and a half. And if you have any questions, just screenshot them and send them to me, and if they're straightforward, I'll just answer them, and if they require a bit of explanation, I'll make you a video. Okay, best of luck with the study.